Hello and welcome to Bring On the Medicine, a holistic healer summit. My name is Janae Robinson. I am the owner of Janae's Essentials in Burley, Idaho. I am a life coach, a yoga therapist, and the host of this summit. I am here with Alexandra Bowlby. Hello.
Hello.
Happy to have you.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited.
Awesome. Go ahead and introduce yourself. Let everybody know who you are and what you do.
Thank you. So I'm Alexandra Bowlby. I am a mother of one beautiful daughter who has been the catalyst for all of my growth for the last 7 years. Excuse me. And I'm a licensed massage therapist with deep interest and focus on trauma and emotions being stored in the body. I am also certified in Rossiter stretching and yoga. And then I am also certified in sound healing. And I love holding space and a safe container for people who are willing to go deeper within themselves to heal and find wholeness once again.
Awesome. Wonderful. Well, let me ask you, and you can take this question really in any area that you want to, or in many areas. What do you find most beneficial that you do offer your clients?
Well, I am honored just to hold space for anybody who is willing to do any sort of work, honestly. As they're moving through whatever their journey is, wherever whatever path they are on in each moment, any cycle. Depending on where a person is on their journey, it dictates what sort of work they want to do and what we do together. So sometimes the most beneficial thing for a person is to just get a massage, just to have touch. Sometimes the most beneficial thing is to have a safe space where they feel seen, heard, held, and safe enough to be vulnerable and have emotional releases. And then sometimes it's sound therapy. It can really go in so many different areas and directions. I think I notice the biggest benefits when people can be vulnerable enough and feel safe enough to let their guard down so that they can do an emotional, have an emotional release, whether it's laughter or crying or anger, whatever it is. And I think that those are the most beneficial ones. And it's beautiful. All of it is beautiful. Um, and even just a massage, like if that's what they are needing in that moment, or yoga or whatever it is. I think it's all beneficial and it's all beautiful.
Awesome. Thank you. And what are some of your favorite tools that you use for music or massage?
For music, I would say that my favorite tools would be the guitar um, and my voice, using that as an instrument, and the koshi chimes that I have, I think are beautiful. The tuning forks are powerful, and I've had a lot of feedback on those. And then with the sound healing that I've, or the certification through tuning forks and stuff, um, they can really get in and trigger very specific things and kind of act as a fine-tooth comb, if you will, to kind of like growl onto emotions and bring them back into the center of the body rather than having them floating out here in space and but in our field, and bring it back into the center where we can, I don't know, dial it back in and get everything moving and flowing in a beautiful way again. So those would be my favorites for music. For massage, I think it's less of a tool and more of a modality, and it would be movement and resistance at the same time, whether I'm doing like a trigger point and they are resisting against me, or we're doing range of motion. And I think that seems to be the most beneficial, and I notice the biggest difference with those things.
Awesome. And just in your experience, how does body work facilitate change for your clients?
Well, I think the biggest thing is that it really just brings a lot of awareness into the body, um, awareness around sensations that they're feeling, whether it's pain or that like hurts so good feeling, or whether it just like flat out hurts, or whether it just feels good, and the ability to be vulnerable enough to be touched by a massage therapist in a safe way, like that that in itself is healing. Just having that vulnerability to be able to lay on that table, um, and I think that is just, I don't know, that it's there's not really any words for it. It's hard to gauge, but and it's very subtle, but I think it's a big deal that a lot of people probably don't even notice and recognize.
Yeah, oftentimes they just feel better, right?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
can't really articulate it. They feel good. But they can. You get off a massage table or whatever it is. It doesn't have to be massage, but you get out of something and there's a new glow. There's something where you feel lifted, you feel a little lighter, and I think that is that feeling that people can't really articulate. It just provides space.
Yeah. Yeah. And you did mention your voice. I always say when I talk about you, Alexandra, and I tell people about you, I always say that you have the voice of an angel. And so, when did you discover your voice, and how was that nurtured?
You do say that, and it just makes me like blush on the inside. So thank you. um, let's see. I grew up, like my mother was always singing. My dad and my stepdad were in bands, and my grandmother, like I have, just memories of everybody singing around me. And so I remember singing for as long as I can remember. Um, if I was going on walks, I was like trying to make up songs in my head, something that was going to be amazing. and and then I started choir in sixth grade, and I stayed in choir until I graduated. And it was the only thing that really always felt right in all of the chaos and anything that felt wrong, just in life. Um, Choir was being able to have energy flow through me was a big one, but also having that with like camaraderie and having people around me and the harmonies and all of the beauty that just comes with being in choir or having somebody to sing with. It's just, I don't know, it speaks to my soul so deeply. And so yeah, it's been my whole life, I would say. And I have, like, I feel like there's always going to be more that I can do to nourish it. Um, but at this moment in time, like just being able to hold sound baths and to be able to share my voice, um, and hold the space and the vulnerability for people to see that they can do the same thing. It's an instrument that we all have, that we can take everywhere, and it's not extra baggage. It's just a part of us, and I think that is just amazing. And so I just love being able to share. That's the biggest thing that is nourishing for me.
Yeah, if you have not had a sound bath and you do have the ability to have a sound bath with Alexandra, I would definitely highly recommend that. Oftentimes, when we do workshops together, people are saying things like, I thought it was the radio, or or a recording of some sort, and then I realized that it was her voice. And so I just feel that it is a very healing. Um, I feel like there is this deep healing that just radiates through you. And so, and it comes through in song as well. So just wanted to kind of throw that in there a little bit.
Thank
Yeah. Yeah. And then I wanted to ask you, like, what have you learned about yourself lately? Like, what have you been doing to nurture you and uncover when we're healers, it's wonderful to deep dive within ourselves. And so what have you been learning about yourself lately?
Great question. It's like a never-ending question, right? um, I would say some of the main things that have been in play for me lately have been around music. Um, One of them, how it's such a big passion of mine, and I think I'm really starting to understand. I think if I was on my deathbed tomorrow, like one of my biggest regrets would be not diving more into music and not like learning more guitar or like sharing more, and just being more a part of something that is a healing experience for everybody, whether it's a song circle or a drum circle or just playing around with people. It's so beautiful and so healing. And I think that would be so to answer your question, like my one of my focuses has been how do I really radiate my passion? How do I bring that more into this moment as often as I can? And then other than that, I would say that I'm just recognizing how much I want to be able to be like a reliable person, whether it's reliable mother or partner or friend or massage therapist, whatever it is. I want to be able to hold a safe space. Like it's so important for us to have a safe space to go to, for us to have somebody to speak to openly and not feel judged and it's kind of like that. It's kind of very surface level answer for something that's kind of big. Um, there's so many nuances to that. Like I don't know, that one's hard.
Well, I think it's beautiful, actually. I feel like when you're, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, but but here you are holding this beautiful container for others. And there is a lot of responsibility that comes with that. There is a lot of detail that has to be looked at when you're offering something like that. And one of the questions that I had for you was, how do you best hold space for your clients? And I feel like you really answered that with that safety aspect. It's like, what I'm hearing is a lot of intuition. Every person that comes in is going to need something different. And so I'm not hearing this cookie cutter thing from you. It's really this very broad um, respect that I'm hearing for your clients, and that you seem to really have a high standard in what you offer and how you want to show up. I think it's a beautiful thing. And what a beautiful thing to work on.
Yeah, there's a ton of growth that is there for me. In no way am I perfect, and we all make our mistakes and stuff like that. But like I am and will always be striving to be the best version of myself, but the best version of a safe space that somebody can come to. One thing that I've heard a lot, and it really touches my heart, and I don't really know what to do with it other than like acknowledge that it's there. Is that people who don't often talk very like they're very quiet with their family and their friends or something like that, but then they come to me for a massage or whatever it is, and they just like open up and everything comes out. And then, sometimes they have an emotional release along with that, but maybe not always. And it's just, they feel like they can talk to me. And I want to always hold that. I always want to acknowledge that. And like, I don't have to, sometimes I feel silly because I don't have a response. Um, but I don't have to. Like, just as long as the space is there to be acknowledged, to be recognized, to be seen, to be heard, to be held. And I think that it's really powerful. And yeah, so that I think that that is something that I would like to lean into more. And there's definitely growth in that space.
Yeah, for sure. Is there something that you've dreamed of doing for a long time that
It comes to music. um, yeah, it always just comes back to music. uh, and with that, I suppose I just see it's shifted over the years. Like when I was younger, it was I wanted to be like a rock star or something. Um, and now it's like I just want to be able to be in some sort of song circle or something. And yes, I love being the like a facilitator of the music, but I also like have a dream of being able to just have us, all share or play together. And I think that that's one thing that I'm really dreaming about. It's coming.
it is? It's coming for sure, for sure. And what are you most looking forward to this year?
This year, um, this is my 33rd year on this planet. And
Uh,
I I don't know why, but that feels very powerful. There's a lot to it that I haven't grasped yet, and I don't really know where it's going or where I'm going. But I have a lot of faith, and so I'm looking forward to just the growth and growth in my certainty that like things don't have to look a certain way, and it's all going to work out. Um, Growth in how I hold myself, how I carry myself, how I show up in the world, and how I show up for the people that I care about or that care about me. Um, and growth in being the best mother that I can be. How can I actually, this is really potent at this moment in time because I'm sitting here thinking about how like where that little fine line is between like being a helicopter parent and being like not present at all, and finding that happy medium so that you're not being overbearing, but you are like you're still active, and so I'm looking forward to navigating that space and learning more about it. And it'll be messy and beautiful, and we'll just see how it goes. And I'm sure that a huge portion of this year, like lots of changes have already happened this year, and I am confident and can already see how this is going to play into motherhood for sure.
yeah, I love that. I think that oftentimes we go into healing professions and different things through our own experiences, through our own healings. And when we can pass those things on to our children, we're really passing the baton of tools. I know for me, I've written about it and I've thought about it with, my mother did not have a lot of tools. My father didn't have a lot of tools. So they didn't have a lot of tools to pass down to me. But I've accumulated more tools and have tried to pass those down to my children. And then now I have grandchildren. So again, it's investing in the people. And I feel like everything that you do is so people oriented. Just, it's beautiful. I think it's beautiful that intentionally investing into the next generations.
Yeah, and it falls on us, and I think that that is it's something that kind of can feel daunting and heavy especially when we didn't have the tools given to us and we have to kind of like navigate and there's a word I'm looking for, excavate things that these tools that have already been there that we are completely out of touch with, and we have to relearn these things and then be able to pass it down. And like at this moment in time, for me anyway, like I'm doing my healing while I'm and growing from my like childhood mentality still while my daughter is growing at the same time. And it's kind of like we're almost at the same age, you know, like mentally we're at the same age and we're like having to do this thing, this dance at the same time, and we're learning at the same time. She's teaching me while I'm teaching her, and it's it's amazing. But yeah, it definitely, it's up to us, and we have to think about the future generations. And I think like it hits my heart really really heavy. um
Yeah,
yeah,
there's a like a sacred exchange with our children, especially when it is done intentionally. Oftentimes we're just living life and moving through, but for you to have the awareness of, you know, those two ends of the spectrum, and where is that middle point to where, you know, she's safe, she can learn these experiences, um, you know, with that, with balance, with balance.
yeah, she has her freedom, that
Yeah,
she's safe. Yeah,
yeah,
absolutely.
yeah. Well, and I know for me, I had to learn a lot of that as an adult. I didn't
Yeah,
learn all of it in childhood. And so I feel like when we can pass down as much as we possibly can in a healthy way, they just have a better start in life, which is great.
yeah, yes, I agree with you.
Yeah. Is there anything else that you wanted us to know about you or what you're doing, um, that maybe I didn't touch upon?
I think we covered a lot of it. My I think what comes to mind is that I'm always growing, you know, and I'm always trying to do my best. Um, I'm always going to be trying to learn something new, whether it's body work or type of body work. And so, like, at this moment, I feel like I'm almost in like a little bit of a box around massage. And so I'm really practicing how to extend myself past that box, past those boundaries. And so the Rossiter stretching is a beautiful, beautiful little segue. And in the sound healing, you know, like it's more of an emotional and energetic sort of modality, but it can be very physical as well. And so, again, just trying to extend past those boundaries. And so, what you see at this moment in time is not what you'll see in a year. And I think I'm just excited about that. And I just want people to know that, like, yes, I'm on my growth path, and everyone is. And I think it's just an amazing journey to be here.
Yeah, it really is a never ending process. There's always more to learn, more to experience. We have such a vast range of emotions and feelings, and history to work through. And then there are experiences that we haven't experienced yet. And so it just opens up the door for more of a internal knowing. It's that wisdom, that wise soul that we hopefully, end up getting to be in our later years. Yeah.
There's a hope. That's the goal.
Yeah, I trust me, it's like this up and down thing. You know, you think you've got it, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh my gosh, I do not have anything. I don't know anything.
One
So
thing that has been super present for me lately is this idea of cycles. and like you think that you processed something or you went through a trauma and you or grief or whatever it is, and you like handled the situation and you got through it, and you know 2 years later or longer, and then all of a sudden you have this like emotional release or this breakdown again. And I guess if there's any like wisdom here to share, it's that like we just have to have awareness that it comes off in layers. Healing is layers, right? Or this cycle, and we're just always moving up and towards something else. But those deep things, they're always going to have like, I don't know, there's always something that's going to come back around that we have to deal with, and it feels like again, but it's not again. It's a little bit different, and um, and I don't know why, but I felt like that was present for me, and maybe somebody else wanted to hear it.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. It's like the spiral, or I have the labyrinth. And one of I don't remember what book it was in, or if it was an article. Someone sent me a quote, and it had said, you know, the thing about the labyrinth that you have to ask yourself is, and really the only question is, am I going to go inside? And that's really a spiritual journey, any sort of healing. Am I going to go inside? Am I going to try it? And there are so many different modalities, even just the sound alone. It doesn't really feel like you're going inside at all, but these frequencies are just doing a number on your cells and the water inside your body and our emotions. It's incredible. It's just incredible. Yeah.
I agree with you, and that was a beautiful way to describe that.
Yeah. Well, and how could somebody find you if they wanted to book a massage session or a sound session? How can they find you?
Um, so I am on Facebook and Instagram under Alexandra Bowlby, and so you can find me there. Otherwise, I've got cards with my phone number. I have cards at Cody Lillenquist's office in Burley, and but my phone number is 208-219-9689, and you can send me a text, and that's probably the easiest way to get in with me.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Alexandra. I appreciate you taking the time to participate in the summit. I love having you in my life. And I just wanted to give you an opportunity to say goodbye to everybody.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
I love having you in my life. Thank you so much for everything. I just am so grateful.
Thank you. All right. Well, goodbye, everybody.
See ya.